I caught my ex-wife cheating when I tried to surprise her. It was Labor Day weekend, in 2021. My then-wife was in Texas for training in the Air Force. We both were in. We lived in Ohio at the time. During her training, she would call the kids, 7 and 3 at the time, and me every day, and stay on the phone for a long time, just talking about anything. Then suddenly, she started talking less and less. Still daily, but only 2 minutes if that. She would say that she had to study for tests. Then she started missing days completely. After the third time, I called her later and asked what the hell was going on. She was utterly wasted, extremely drunk on the phone. I got mad and hung up. The next day, she says she needs space. Like I'm the bad guy here. We barely talked for 2 weeks after that. To backtrack a bit, we married when I was 25. She was 23, dating for 4 years before that. When we were dating, she went to visit her friend in California. Her friend married a Marine and moved there. Well, during that time, she was also going to meet a guy she had never met, someone her friend wanted to set her up with. So for the entire 2 weeks, she was cheating on me. So we broke up for about a year. I connected back with her again, and we got back together. About 2 years later, I got married. During our marriage, she completely changed. She denied me intimacy and affection. When she rejected me, I would naturally get upset. I would say mean things to remind her of what she did, because I knew it would hurt her. Fast forward, we had 2 children. Our marriage went on, with hardly any intimacy or affection from her. I would ask her to kiss me. After our second child, we were pretty much roommates. I was extremely depressed, and it was difficult to get out of bed and do anything. I realized I wasn't the father I wanted to be, not the husband, and sought mental health. So back to the time, after we started to stop talking after our argument, I thought the spark had been missing in our relationship, and I blamed myself for my depression and anxiety. So I got a babysitter for the long weekend. She had mentioned that she wanted to get away and go camping by herself. So I took it as an opportunity to surprise her, so we could spend the weekend alone, just trying to get our love back to what it was. Before marriage, I went to her hotel on base and talked to the hotel staff beforehand to let them know I wanted to surprise her. They were okay with it. After I showed proof of who I was, I got an extra key card, went into her room before she returned from training, and was going to surprise her when she came in. When I got into her room, I saw a large box of condoms on her nightstand, many empty alcohol bottles in the trash, and her counters. I also saw her wedding ring in her bathroom on the counter, as if the ring was stolen. I was devastated and in shock at what I saw. I hid in the closet, and when she arrived, I jumped out and said surprise. I just was still in disbelief that this was happening. Her response was, "You're not supposed to be here." Then she locked herself in the bathroom. She texted a school friend, a girl, to come. The friend rushed to her room as if it seemed like I was hurting her. To be clear, I had never raised a hand or even got close to it. Her friend left, and she came out of the bathroom. I demanded an explanation. All she could say was, "I'm sorry." It wasn't in an apologetic way, more of an "I'm sorry you had to find out this way." I left immediately, took a car to the airport, and bought the first ticket home. I could only do the bare minimum for my kids the entire weekend, because I was crushed. Monday rolled around, I called, and she said she wanted a divorce. I was just in disbelief, and agreed without a discussion. The only thing I could manage to get out was, "I'm taking the kids and moving back home." I was medically retiring from the military, before she would return from training. Her response was, "Okay, can you take the dogs too?" After we split and I moved back, I did some digging. I checked our bank account, and saw thousands of dollars at bars and other places being spent by her during the time she was in training, while telling us she was studying. I also checked the phone records. I couldn't see the messages, but I could see one number that kept coming up all day, every day, back and forth. That ended up being the guy she was cheating on me with, no surprise. We finalized our divorce in February of this year without fighting. Since then, she has skipped her time with her kids twice, to go on mini vacations with this guy. He lives in Washington, D.C., 7 hours away from her. We live in Missouri, 6 hours from her. In our divorce agreement, she can come to see the kids whenever she wants during the week, if she clears it with me first. She just did that for the first time, 2 weeks ago. Since February, that is the only time she has done that. When she calls the kids, and they see she is in the car, or at a place they don't recognize, they ask her where she is. She admits she is with her new boyfriend. She drives or flies to see him instead of the kids. Last Thursday, she called me and said she messed up, missed the kids and me, and wanted to get back together. I tell her that she has to agree to go through her therapy and marriage counseling. It sounded like things were going to get better. 2 days later, she sent me a message telling me that she wasn't going to do any of that. This guy makes her so happy, and she is now engaged to this guy. My life was crushed again. The entire year, I have constantly been crying and lying in bed. Thank God for my family, because I couldn't do this without them. I just feel so worthless. I can't connect with anyone I try and date, because I am numb now, and have commitment issues. I can't find a job, and I bought a house that I now have tapped into my savings to start paying for. I constantly have morbid thoughts of being better off dead. Then I hate myself more for thinking that, because I have 2 amazing kids to care for. I feel like nothing can go right, and I'm going to lose my kids, my house, and eventually myself. I have been talking to a therapist, but I don't know if I feel any different. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm not sure what I'm looking for here, but I thought maybe if I got my story out there, it would have some kind of relief. This post was made 6 months ago, and has an update to it. If you want to watch the video, or even listen to it, click the link in the description, or check out my YouTube page. What do you guys think of the story so far? Leave a comment below to share your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time.